everyone, it's Kat and I'm back today with another palette review. This is the newest Glaminatrix palette. It's the Crown Legacy Palette and it's in collaboration with Monolith, which I believe is a website or a store that stocks their products. So they have paired up to create this beautiful sort of regal palette. Now I love the packaging of this. It gives the impression that it's going to be very rich, sort of purples and golds, very royal colors. They do say it contains lush greens, regal purples and decadent golds. There's also a bit more information about this. So there's 15 shades, there's buttery matte, sparkly shimmers and duochromes, 26mm pans, vegan and cruelty free. So let's open it up because I feel like this is slightly different than what I expected. I do really like that the palette itself has carried that design across, because sometimes you see the packaging have a really interesting design and then this is a little bit more simple, but it is that faux leather, but it's purple and it's got the gold crowns. I will have release information about this in the description box because I believe it's going to be sold at the Glaminatrix website as well as Monolith. I don't think it's just Monolith exclusive from my understanding, but I'll have clarification in the description box as well as when it's releasing, as well as my code if you want 10% off from the Glaminatrix website. So this is a palette. Now, what do we expect from the wording of it? Like really rich jewel tones? That's what I think, but it's a little bit more subdued. I like this color story. I didn't expect it from the wording of it. I expected to see a rich sort of like 24 karat sort of yellow gold. I expected to see more of a this kind of purple. Is that it? I feel like these are like cool tone colors with a bit of a gray wash to them, which I'm not mad about. I think it's really pretty. So what I'm going to be doing with this today is I'm going to be swatching it. I'm going to be applying it on my eyes. I'm going to be coming back throughout the week with different looks. This color, I want this color. This color is beautiful. And we're going to just give you my thoughts after using the majority of this. I think it's very pretty though. I like this. I don't think it matches this, but I like this. I know what I would have called this palette. It's a mermaid palette. This is a mermaid color. It's stunning. Look at it go purple over there. Mermaid. This should be a trident. I'm going to swatch this palette in columns because I think we've got a nude column, we've got sort of 2 greeny columns and 2 purpley columns. So I'm going to try to keep them together. And just a moment of silence for the crowns that I will disrupt right now. First column, we've got Gilded, which is this beautiful sort of grey color. I don't think I picked up much. Let me get a bit more. I feel like with some of their mattes, you've got to really sort of break the surface, especially with this crown. There we go. It's like a shadowy grey. Then we've got Gilded, which is this beautiful, it's almost like a champagne sparkly shade. I love it. Jewel is surprisingly beige. Whoop, light beige, not jewel toned at all. Next column, we've got Scepter, which is more of, this reminds me of one from, I think they have a shade like this in one of their neutral palettes. Nearly Natural, I think it is. It's a nice sort of, there's a mix of yellow gold and silver sparkle in here. So it's one, if you blend it out, it's going to be really twinkly. This green is stunning. This is Sovereign. Yes, Sovereign. That's beautiful. They have been putting a lot of greens in their palettes recently, but this one is like a true bright grass green. We've been seeing a lot of swampy greens recently. I love this. I think this is a great addition. And this one is my favorite so far, Dynasty, like the one I'm most excited to use. It's a one swatch wonder. In my angle, I'm seeing a bit more blue purple. Top down, it's more aqua. It's very pretty. Oh, I really love this. This, I would have that in a mini palette. Air is more of a dusty green. I really like this as well. So it's a bit of a take on, it's like a cool tone green, but it's not too aqua. It's just this dusty, beautiful green. Almost like an ivy green, I suppose. Empire is this beautiful sparkly green that's got like gold shimmer in it. It's almost like they've taken some of the gold shimmer with this one that they've mixed with the silver, but they've added in a green, which is really lovely. And then Legacy, which is more of that turquoise. This is like my favorite liner color. This is perfection. That to me is such a fun green nude color story, but we're getting into the purples. So we've got Regal, which is more of, oh, this is more like a beigey color. It's a little bit like a rose gold beige. Really pretty. It sort of would complement that one really nicely. So that and that just easy nude look. Then we've got this pastel, which is called Noble. So this is a bit fun. Just brightens things up a little bit. Pop of pastel. Crown. Gorgeous. So these really, I can see the fine micro sparkle of different colors in there. So this is made up of purple and like a bluey color, and it's got this sort of smoky base to it. What I might do here is just show you. So if you look how much I've got left, it's so pigmented. So if you blend this out, you can see it's made up of a smoky base with these little sparkly bits. Punchy colors. This is the last column. We've got Throne, which is a nice dark plum. I love dark plums. They go with everything. They're so nice. Opulent, which is more of a eggplant version of this. So this is quite cool toned with blues in it. This looks like it's more pinks and purples shimmer in it, but I can see the micro sparkle in there again. Really pretty. And then the last one, last but not least, is Rain. Which is this beautiful navy blue, which I love. Again, really nice sort of deepening color, really nice liner color. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so we can see it all in one frame. There we go. So even though we've seen greens and sort of blues and nudes and purples from Glaminatrix before, I feel like this is a different take on it. Again, it's very sort of cool toned. This is sort of fairy tale for me. I'm getting sort of fairy tale vibes, which I think is really pretty. And those sparkle formulas, really fun. I'm going to show you in a different angle so we can see the sort of duochrome element. I think it's more prominent with that aqua color, the aqua shimmer. All right, let's get on to applying these. I do have a base on my eyes already. It's just a Natasha Denona eyeshadow base. I'm going to be using some of the Glaminatrix brushes. If you want new brushes, don't sleep on their 8 brush set. I think these are beautiful. The only reason I don't use them sometimes is because they're dirty, because they're in frequent rotation. I love them. So let's just start playing with some fun shades. Okay, I'm going to start with Majesty in the crease. This is just that sort of cooler toned shadow shade. I just want to see what it looks like on me. It's quite cool toned, which, you know, is nice. And it does give a shadow, which is nice. And it does set my base. I really want to use Dynasty or Dynasty, this one here, but I'm aware that all over the lid, it won't suit me. So I'm actually going to take Jewel, which is that warmer matte, and just put it here because I want to keep this sort of clear, because if I start getting a bluey green color right in the inner third of my eye, it starts looking very clownish for me. So I'm going to just mark this as do not go there. Let's keep this one a little bit more nude. Mermaid dreams can come true. Let's just put this on. I'm just going to see what it looks like with a dense brush. This is the E03. If I need to, what I can do is just pop a little bit on my finger and tap it on. But this does apply quite nicely with a dense sort of packing brush. That's my post swatch fingers, but let's just pop a little bit on so it looks a little bit more foiled. This is such a fun color. Wow. So tap it on and then just blend the edges. And it stops a lot of like falling down, but it gives that intense effect without needing to sort of really scrub into your pan. Oh, it's a mermaid palette. Sorry, Glaminatrix, you've created a mermaid palette, not a royalty palette. I'm not mad about it. Or a royal mermaid. Maybe that's it. I love that. I think that's so pretty. So pretty. It's so pretty. On a fluffy brush, I'm just getting Legacy, which is that really dark teal. I'm going to tap some of that off because I think this is going to be really full on. I'm just going to use that to blend out the mermaid color. They work a dream together. Just picking up the smallest amount because this is very, very pigmented. Wow. Holy moly. All right, just a clean brush to sort of blend that out a little bit more. This is such a good color. This is such a good color. Oh my God. Something else that I want to play with. I want to play with Noble, which is this powdery pastel purple. I just want to see what it looks like by itself. Again, I'd call this a fairy tale purple. It's just like a princess dress. Then I'm going to use this one here on the outer corner. So I've got the matte in the inner corner and the shiny on the outer corner. So I'm going to use this one. The powder I used today did not set my under eyes very well. So I'm just going to repowder because I'm getting some really creasy under eye biz, but while I'm doing that, I'm going to just blend that out a little bit as well. I'm going to leave it there for now because I really want that to be the main color because it's so beautiful, but I'm going to go do some liner and I'll be back. Okay, that's it with a bit of liner and some extra clumpy mascara. Wasn't my plan, but it is what it is. That top lid combo of the matte and then the mermaid and the teal, I want to be buried in that. I want to replicate that forever because it's so gorgeous. I'm going to come back with some green looks. I'm going to come back with some more teal looks, some purple looks, some nude looks, and then I'll conclude what I think about this palette. But I think you know already because that says it all, doesn't it? It says it all. Today I'm using the soft greens on my eye. They're very pretty. So it's a bit of color, but it also looks not too much. So I'm using this all over the lid, this in the outer corner and in the crease a little bit. And then I use this on the lower lash line. I put on a cream base today that was a bit tinted, so it was like a light brown. And then I popped this shade just really lightly over the top for a sort of twinkly wet effect, which is really pretty. Then I use this shade as a liner and underneath as well. But then I couldn't help myself but put a bit of that on the top. So that's why it's shiny, but I wanted a nude look with a little pop of teal. And this is a perfect palette for it. I love this look. I think it's really beautiful. So it's just like a really subtle purple. So I've used 3 shades. I started with this all over the lid. I used actually a fluffy brush, which it's a bit flaky. Just be aware if you want that dispersed look, this will kick up a little bit of sparkles, which is fine. I used this one in the crease, which has actually disappeared quite a lot. So it goes on looking quite pastel, but then it sort of just looks like a mauve. Is that right? It doesn't look as obvious. Then I use this one to sort of create a bit of a winged smoky liner effect, and I mix those two together at the bottom to sort of blend out the bottom as well, and a bit of that shimmer on the lower lash line. I'm going for another muted purple look today, but it's more of a bluey purple look. So what I've done is I've used this shade all over the lid and in the crease. So it is quite cool toned on me. It does definitely look like shadow, and it does give a grey vibe. So this one to me on my skin tone looks quite grey. I have used this shade here as a bit of a liner. Hang on, the sun's coming out. So I've put it on with like a pencil brush, and then also on the lower lash line, that dark blue. And then the one above it, I've buffed that into the lash line. So hopefully you can see it's mainly purple. Looking back, I probably should have used the blue here to see how those pair, but I started using the purple and then it is what it is. Okay, I'm back to conclude what I think about this brand new palette. Now I've actually had a bit more time to review this. So instead of like cramming my looks into 1 week and sort of being totally immersed in the palette, I have given myself a couple of weeks to do this. So I feel like I'm using this more organically, how I would normally use it, which is a bit different. And I've kind of forgotten some of the looks that I've created. Today I've done a look where I'm using these 2 blues. I particularly like the matte because I find the matte, which I've used as a bit of a liner, is more of a punchy color. This becomes a little bit like grey-like, silvery-like almost. You can see in the outer corner, it looks a little bit grey. I also used this shimmery shade here, which is that sort of translucent, sparkly, like, let's say white gold. It's not silver. There's a tiny bit of warmth to it. It's like a light champagne. And I also use this one to blend it out. So I have used every shade in this palette, and I have to say, like, I love Glaminatrix formula. I always love Glaminatrix formula. I feel like it always performs really nicely. It just comes down to, do you like the finish and do you like the colors? Because otherwise, I think they're really easy to work with. I feel like they build up. This is the formula that I would consider is their more standard formula. So this is the formula of the Barely Basic palette and the Nearly Natural, and those kind of ones that I think they've become really well known for. This is what I'd call the formula that anyone could use. Whether you're beginner, whether you're sort of pro, you could use this formula. It's not too buttery and soft and delicate that you have to be careful with it and like careful with your brushes. So it's not that formula. Recently, they have brought out a couple of palettes that have very delicate formulas. This is not that, so I just wanted to clarify. I like both formulas, but I prefer this sort of more robust formula for an everyday palette. There are some shades that I love, 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 and other shades that I personally probably would skip only because they don't suit my coloring and my makeup style. So the ones that I love, 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 I love the sort of twinkly ones, the twinkly nudes. We've got that sort of really iridescent, almost silvery platinum, I'd say. It's got like no base color, but it's got a twinkle. I love that for like inner corner highlight. I love that for just a twinkle over the lid. I've got that mixed with the dark blue today as a way to brighten it a little bit, because I find a lot of these dark shimmery shades are a bit too dark for my coloring. They've also got this beautiful one here, which, what is this color? It's more of a taupey color. It's like a, I don't know, it's got a little bit of mauviness to it, which is really, really pretty. So it's a similar effect to this where it's quite twinkly. Both of these shades work with everything. Just, do you want a cooler version? Do you want a slightly warmer version, I suppose? These sort of two mattes are really beautiful as well. So if you want something in the crease or a bit of a shadow, this is warmer, this is cooler. I think like if that was in a quad, I would use that every day because they are so easy to use. This color is special and I will wear this as a liner. I'll wear it as an accent. I'll wear it as an inner corner, whatever it happens to be. This is such a stunning mermaid sort of multi-chrome color. It's a standout. It's beautiful. This also is a standout. This green, I didn't realize I needed in my life. This is an accent green that I can use with browns. I can use it with champagnes. I can use it with golds. I can use it with whatever. It is the most stunning. It's like a grass green. And I've got a lot of greens, but I didn't realize I needed this one. This one I was missing. I also really love these two dark colors because I use them as liners. I'm wearing this navy today. It does actually on me look a little bit green. So what I'm noticing is I'm loving the nude sparkles and I'm loving the mattes. That's what I've just described now. Oh, and that color there. The other shimmers, I feel like, and this is just my experience, when I use them, which are here, they sort of disappear if you use any other color with them. So I've just swatched some of the colorful shimmers here and I've put some of the mattes that sort of correspond with them. One thing I noticed is, yes, they're very pretty. This one I particularly like the most because that one on my coloring stands out the most. These end up going quite smoky and dark, especially if you have a look and you blend them out. They sort of go quite smoky. But one thing else I realized is if you do pair them with these colors, these take over very quickly and it almost looks like you've got the matte color with a topper. So these become to me a little bit redundant because then if I get one of the nudes I was talking about, you can sort of get a similar effect by just sort of layering these a little bit. So I quite liked these more than I liked these, but that's again just how I use my makeup. What does that mean? Not much. Just means that I will be reaching for this palette for some of the twinkly shades and predominantly the mattes. I think the mattes are really stunning. I think there are some really unique colors here that I don't have in my collection. They perform really well. I'll also be reaching for this palette for this. But when it comes to these other sort of darker shimmers, they're a bit too dark and smoky on me. And I think this color story as well, I see this as being an accent color story. I didn't feel like I could reach for this as complete looks with my coloring and the way that I like to do my makeup. I actually found that I had better results with this if I paired some of these shades with a bronze or something that I found to be something that suited my complexion a little bit more. I think a lot of these lean very cool, which is great because a lot of people need more colorful, cool tone palettes, but it was a little bit jarring and a little bit bold on my coloring. So for me, I'll reach for this palette for like the accents and pops of color to go along with other like sparkly browns and bronzes and champagnes and whatnot. But this is a very pretty palette and I think it does stand apart in the Glaminatrix collection because they don't really have a comprehensive, cool toned, getting into the jewel toned colors. I still have the gripe that I don't think it represents Crown Legacy. I think this is more of a mermaid palette. I see that there are jewel tones here, but I just get a discrepancy with what I expected from this and what I'm getting in here. Not disappointed. I think they could have repackaged this to be a little bit more accurate to what I think this theme is anyway. I had a lot of fun using this. I will keep it out because there are some beautiful colors here that I just want to add accents to my boring everyday looks. This green is stunning, so unique. This one is beautiful. That soft sort of like vintage powdery green. Some really beautiful choices here. So if you do want to check this out, I do have a discount code. It's CAT, K-A-T, for 10% off at the Glaminatrix website. So a big thank you to the Glaminatrix team for sending this out to me yet again. I love receiving their palettes. It's always such a fun surprise. And I'll have all the details in the description box. And a big thank you to my members for supporting this channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.